Old radio beside my heart, still playing where we fell apart. I walk alone through empty streets, slow reflections under me. Every window glowing soft feels like memories we lost. Your favorite song comes drifting by, and suddenly I close my eyes. For one small moment in the dark, I still feel you in my arms. Maybe some nights never end, maybe broken hearts still pretend. Every little dream I knew still comes back, painted blue. After the blue rain falls, I still hear your voice call. Every lonely city light still keeps you alive tonight. Soft echoes in my soul, like a love I can't let go. Even when the stars grow dim, I still belong to him. Taxi shadows passing slow, like old films from long ago. Coffee shops and smoky bars still remember who we are. I still wear your favorite ring, even though it means nothing. Maybe love survives this way, quietly inside the pain. If you ever think of me somewhere in another dream, maybe we were never lost. Maybe love just changed its form. After the blue rain falls, your memory fills these walls. Every road and midnight sky still keeps your love alive. Even when the morning shines, you still live inside my mind. Every lonely midnight blue still belongs to you. Rain fades slowly with the dawn, but my heart still holds on. Somewhere underneath the blue, I still dream of you. The curtains moved from the summer wind, and the room turned gold for a moment. I almost believed you were still here. Here's a glass of water by the bedside, untouched since yesterday, and your old handwriting on the calendar still refuses to fade away. I keep living around your absence, like people walk around cracked stone, careful not to reopen something that never fully healed at all. Funny how grief changes shape. First it burns, then it echoes, then one day it simply sits beside you, quiet as evening light. When the curtains move tonight, I thought maybe love came back, not loudly, not dramatically, just softly through the air. And for one impossible second, the whole room breathed differently, like your hands were still somewhere close, reaching through memory. The radio station we listened to doesn't exist anymore. Now strangers speak where music lived, and somehow that hurts even more. I passed the cinema on Crescent Avenue, where you cried during the ending scene. The poster lights are different now, but I still see you there in blue. If I'm honest, I don't miss us the same way anymore. I miss who I became beside you. A softer version of myself, maybe that's the cruelest thing about love. Not losing someone, but losing the person you only were with them. When the curtains move tonight, the silence almost broke apart, and all the years between us felt thin enough to cross. But morning always arrives eventually, pulling dreams back into dust, and I'm left standing in this apartment, still learning how to live without us. The wind settles outside the window, the city hums below, and somewhere in the darkened room, your memory folds itself into the quiet again. Neon rain tonight, falling through the city lights. Radio plays soft and low, and I still can't let you go. High heels echo down the street, lonely rhythm, broken beat, midnight wind against my face, still searching for your embrace. Every cafe closing down, empty shadows all around, your reflection in the glass feels like memories from the past. Maybe I should say goodbye, but your ghost still fills my nights. Every little light I see people dancing, moving on, while my heart still holds you close. I still wear your favorite scent, like the nights we almost met. Somewhere in this endless blue, I still belong to you. But I'm still holding on. Somewhere underneath this rain, I still whisper your name. There's a diner open past midnight at the corner of 5th and Main. The same pale yellow light still flickers, like it's waiting for someone who never came. I stopped there tonight out of habit, sat alone beside the rain street glass. The waitress looked at me with tired eyes, like she's seen heartbreak too many times. Your favorite song came softly through the speakers, low enough to almost miss. And suddenly the empty seat across from me felt heavier than it should. Strange the places grief chooses to live, not in grand moments, but in ordinary rooms where loved ones quietly existed. And the light above the diner still burns into the dark, like a small promise refusing to give up on somebody. I watch strangers come and go tonight, while memories stay behind, like your hand still 'cause loneliness looks simpler on someone else. The coffee tasted burnt and bitter, but I drank it anyway. Some nights you don't come somewhere to heal. You come because the pain knows the address. If you walk through that door tonight, I don't know what I would say. Maybe nothing at all. Maybe some loves grow too deep for language. And maybe moving on isn't forgetting. Maybe it's learning how to carry a person through your life without asking them to stay. The light above the diner was still glowing when I left, soft against the empty sidewalks and the sleeping avenue. And somewhere between the rain and headlights, I finally understood that missing someone for years can become its own kind of home. The city faded in the rearview mirror as the night thinned into blue. And one last time, I almost turned the car around for you. There's a chair beside the window where the sunlight used to fall. I still catch myself looking at it, like you might be there after all. You always sat there in the evenings, reading pages you never finished. One foot tucked beneath your sweater, tea growing cold beside your hands. I never understood those moments, how quietly they mattered then. Now the whole apartment aches with them, like music after the song has ended. It's dangerous, the way memory softens people, turning ordinary love into something almost holy. And the chair by the window tonight feels heavier than furniture should, like it's holding the shape of someone the world forgot to return. I keep the lamp beside it glowing, even after midnight comes, because part of me still believes ways. Love can find its way home in the dark. The landlord changed the hallway carpets. Everything smells newer now, but grief has its own stubborn scent that never fully leaves a room. I saw your brother at the market. He asked me if I'm doing well, and I said yes, without thinking, the way lonely people do. Sometimes I wonder what survives us after everyone moves on. Maybe not the grand declarations, maybe just tiny habits. The way you hummed while tying your hair, or touched my wrist while passing by. Small gestures too human to notice until they become impossible to replace. The chair by the window is empty, but somehow not empty at all. Your absence sits there every evening, quietly watching night arrive. And I think love changes after loss. It becomes less about holding on and more about learning how to carry tenderness alone. Outside, snow begins to fall softly. The city fades into white, and the lamp beside the window stays on for no reason anymore. Someone is singing downstairs tonight, soft enough to almost disappear. The walls are thin in this old building, and somehow it sounds like you. I stood barefoot in the kitchen, watching headlights cross the floor. There's a crack beside the doorway now that wasn't there before. The flowers on the windowsill have faded, the way small things quietly do. But every corner of this apartment still keeps returning me to you. It's strange what survives a heartbreak. Not the fights, not the tears, just the ordinary moments that suddenly getting smaller, and what we had once felt endless. If I could speak to you again, I don't think I'd ask you to return. I'd only want one honest conversation, without fear, without blame, without pretending we didn't matter. There's still a song beneath the dawn tonight, soft enough to break my heart. And somewhere between the melody and silence, I remember who we were. Not perfect, not forever, just two tired people loving each other the best way they knew how. The singing downstairs slowly fades. The building settles into sleep, and I stay awake beside the window, listening to what remains. The apartment smells like smoke and winter, even though I quit last spring. There are still traces of old evenings hiding in everything. Your coat is gone from the hallway, but the shape of it remains. Like the body remembers warmth long after the fire changes. I poured 2 glasses out of habit, then laughed at myself again. Funny how loneliness survives in the smallest human things. No one warns you that heartbreak becomes domestic. It folds laundry beside you, sleeps quietly in your bed. There are ashes in the ashtray tonight, like little pieces of life we burn through. Not violently, not suddenly, just slowly enough to hurt. And every room still carries a version of your breathing, like the walls themselves haven't accepted that you left. The woman upstairs keeps practicing cello late into the evening dark, and the low sad notes drifting downwards sound exactly like memory. I tried dating someone last September, expensive perfume. But all I could think about was how differently you used to say my name. Maybe love doesn't disappear. Maybe it settles into objects, into chairs, into shadows, into the silence after midnight. And maybe moving forward means learning to stop touching the wound, just to prove it's still there. There are ashes in the ashtray tonight, and moonlight on the kitchen floor. I stand barefoot in the quiet, listening to the refrigerator hum. And for the first time in a long while, I don't ask for you to come back. I just miss the sound of being known completely. A siren fades somewhere downtown. The building settles into sleep, and the last cigarette burns itself out without anyone watching. Warm wind moving through the curtains, midnight hanging over town. Someone's playing old records downstairs, and the whole city feels slow tonight. You stood barefoot on the balcony, wearing my shirt like it belonged to you, laughing at the noise below us, while the traffic painted gold across your skin. We were too young to understand how quickly beautiful things disappear. So we kissed like people who believed nothing could touch us there. There are nights that never leave you, no matter how far life goes. They stay hidden in the body, like songs the heart still knows. Summer balcony lights still shining somewhere in my mind. Your hair moving in the midnight air, like a dream too soft to hold. And even now, when the city falls quiet after rain, I still look toward empty windows, hoping one of them is yours. The apartment's been renovated now, different colors on the walls, but I swear I could still find our shadows if they turn the lights down low enough. There was wine on your lips that evening, and sadness neither of us named. Maybe we already felt the ending long before goodbye arrived. Sometimes I wonder if you remember the song we danced to in the kitchen, or the way you fell asleep against me while sirens faded in the distance. Because I still carry that summer like folded paper in my coat. Fragile, worn out, but impossible to throw away. Summer balcony lights burning softly through the years, not bright enough to guide me home, but enough to keep you near. And maybe that's what love becomes after time has done its part. Not forever, not completely gone, just a light left on inside the dark. Buildings, the record downstairs finally stops, and somewhere behind the waking skyline, I lose you one more time. Opposite, turning slow, midnight radio, soft rain on my window tonight, and I still miss you. Dusty records on the floor, your old jacket by the door. Every little thing remains, like your love still stays. Street lights glowing pale and blue, every song reminds me of you. I close my eyes and drift away, back into yesterday. Maybe some memories never fade, maybe some hearts always stay. Every lonely night I know still leads me back to your soul. Cassette heart tonight, still rewinding through my mind. Every melody we knew still feels a little like you. Soft echoes in the rain, calling out my name again. Even when the morning shines, you still live inside my eyes. Slow dancing in the kitchen light, laughing softly late at night. I remember how you smiled, how you made the silence bright. Now the room feels cold and still, but your memory lingers here. Every whisper in the dark still leaves a mark on my heart. If you hear this old love song, maybe you still sing along. Maybe somewhere deep inside, you still miss those that somewhere inside my soul, you still feel like home. I drove past your street tonight for the first time in almost a year. The city looks smaller somehow, or maybe I've just grown tired. Your apartment was dark except for one window, a soft amber light near the back. And for one dangerous second, I imagined you were still waiting there. Not for anyone in particular, not even for me, just to wake in the quiet like we used to be. There was rain collecting on the windshield, traffic breathing slow below, and an old song playing so softly I almost mistook it for memory itself. Time doesn't really heal everything, it just teaches the heart how to carry certain sadnesses without collapsing beneath them. And the last light in your window tonight looked like love refusing to disappear. Small, distant, still burning against the dark. I sat there through two changing traffic lights, unable to drive away, because part of me still lives inside the life we never finished. Do you still leave books half open beside the bed and forget tea growing cold in your hands? Do you still fall asleep during old movies right before the ending scene? I wanted so badly to believe there would be another chapter for us, but some stories don't end dramatically. They simply stop being written, and somehow that hurts more. I used to think missing someone meant wanting them back, but tonight I finally understood. Sometimes missing someone just means accepting that a piece of your soul will always speak their name in quiet places. The last light in your window went out eventually, softly, without ceremony, like the closing of a piano lid. And I stayed there a little longer, watching my reflection in the rain, before turning the car toward home, alone, but no longer fighting it. Somewhere behind me, the city kept glowing, street lights stretching into blue. dead flowers on the windowsill, still leaning toward the sun. I should have thrown them out weeks ago, but somehow I couldn't touch them. You used to water them every Sunday while humming songs under your breath. Tiny ordinary rituals that felt invisible at the time. Now the apartment echoes differently, like the air itself has changed. Even the floorboards sound lonelier without your footsteps crossing them. No one tells you how quiet love disappears, not in one terrible moment, but in small neglected things. And the flowers we forgot to water still break my heart tonight, because somewhere between being busy and being tired, we stopped noticing each other. Not all endings arrive with goodbye. Some happen slowly in plain sight, like petals curling inward, while nobody looks close enough to see. I found your grocery list this morning, folded inside a cookbook. Your handwriting still soft and careful, like you were trying not to disturb the world outside. Someone's arguing in the alley, a dog keeps barking down the block. Life goes on in loud, imperfect ways, while grief stays painfully polite. If I could return to one evening, it wouldn't be our first kiss or some dramatic final moment, just an ordinary Tuesday. You're standing barefoot in the kitchen, asking if I wanted tea, and me not understanding that this was happiness. The flowers we forgot to water still sit beside the glass tonight, brown at the edges, beautiful in a ruined way. And maybe love doesn't die suddenly, maybe it fades the way seasons do, quietly, gradually, until one day the room feels cold without warning. I open the window before sleeping. Night air moves through the curtains, and somewhere in the darkness, a memory blooms too late. I still remember the sound, not the words, not the tears, just the sound of your suitcase wheels crossing the wooden floor. brewing traffic outside. Someone laughing somewhere down the street, while my whole life quietly changed shape. You stood near the doorway in your gray coat, looking smaller than I'd ever seen you. Like love had already started leaving before your body did. People think heartbreak arrives loudly, but sometimes it enters softly, like cold air through a half-open window, slow enough that you barely notice at first. And the sound of you leaving that morning still lives somewhere inside me, a soft rolling echo I hear on lonely nights. Not anger, not regret, just the unbearable tenderness of realizing something beautiful has ended. For months I couldn't move the chair you touched before walking out, as if disturbing the room too much would erase the last proof you were real. Friends kept telling me to go out more, to meet people, to start again. But grief isn't a door you walk through once, it's a house you learn to live inside. Sometimes I replay that morning differently. In one version I ask you to stay, in another I hold you longer, in another we tell the truth sooner. But memory is cruel that way. It gives you endless alternate endings for a story that only happened once. The sound of you leaving still follows me through quiet kitchens and sleepless rooms, through songs on late night radio, through winters that arrive too fast. And maybe one day it won't hurt anymore, maybe it'll just become part of me, like a scar you stop touching but never fully forget. Tonight the apartment is silent again, only the refrigerator humming softly. And somewhere beneath that ordinary sound, your goodbye still exists. There's a pale light in the hallway, and the house is breathing slow. I found your letter in the drawer tonight, from a summer long ago. I bought a dress for Sunday evening, soft white silk against my skin. You said we'd dance until the morning, but you never walked back in. Now the record player spins in circles, like the years I can't undo. And every quiet part of this room still somehow leans toward you. Some loves don't burn like fire, they stay like shadows on the wall, silent as a sleeping city, but they never leave at all. I still keep the dress I never wore, hanging like a memory behind the door. Every thread still holds your name, even now nothing feels the same. And sometimes when the night is still, I swear I hear your footsteps near, like love never really disappeared. It just learned to live without us here. The neighbors moved away last winter, the cafe closed 2 streets from mine, but I still walk that old direction like I'm chasing borrowed time. There's a crack inside the mirror where your reflection used to stay, and I still turn the lights on softly, the same careful way. If you saw me now, would you recognize these eyes, or the woman who kept waiting long after goodbye? Maybe we were never broken, maybe life just pulled too hard, and 2 gentle hearts got separated by the weight of who we are. I still keep the dress I never wore, like a promise folded into something torn. Every night I tell myself I don't need you anymore, but the moonlight through the curtains still falls exactly like before. And somewhere in the silence, I still love you more. Morning slowly fills the windows, dust is floating through the gold, and the dress still waits beside me, growing older with my soul. Train passed by at 2:17, shaking the glasses in the cabinet. I woke up reaching for someone who hasn't slept beside me in years. The sheets were cold on your side again. Moonlight stretched across the floor. I lay there listening to the city breathe, like an animal outside the door. There's a tiredness that comes with missing someone, not dramatic, not loud, just a slow wake living quietly inside ordinary hours. I used to think healing meant finally not thinking of you, but maybe it's this instead. Remembering without falling apart. And the train at 2:17 tonight sounded exactly like goodbye. Long, distant, still echoing after it disappeared. I closed my eyes and for a moment I was 29 again, waiting at the station, watching you leave through winter fog. I passed the record store last weekend, the one where we spent entire afternoons arguing over singers neither of us really understood, just because we liked hearing each other talk. The owner painted the windows black now. There's a pharmacy inside instead. Funny how cities survive heartbreak by replacing everything. If I saw you today, I think I'd notice your hands first. The small familiar movements time probably couldn't erase. And I'd wanna ask, did we waste our love? Or is loving someone deeply never really a waste at all? The train at 2:17 keeps running somewhere beyond this sleeping town, carrying strangers toward each other while I sit here with the past. But tonight the loneliness feels softer, less like punishment, more like an old photograph fading gently at the edges. Another train hums through the darkness. The apartment settles back into stillness, and somewhere between memory and dawn, I finally fall asleep. A slow song came on in the supermarket tonight. Some old love ballad from the 80s. And suddenly I couldn't remember why I went there in the first place. You used to pull me into the kitchen whenever music filled the room, dancing badly in wool socks, laughing before the chorus even started. I always thought there would be more time, more winters, more ordinary evenings. I didn't know happiness could end so quietly. No one notices the last time something happens. The final kiss, the final drive home, the final song two people almost dance to. And the song we never danced to tonight still follows me through every aisle. Like unfinished love has a rhythm that refuses to disappear. I stood there holding bread and flowers, trying not to fall apart, while strangers moved around me, completely untouched by our ghost. The cashier asked if I needed a bag, and her voice sounded painfully young. I wanted to tell her to hold on to every small, beautiful thing while it lasts. Outside, rain blurred the parking lot lights into watercolor streaks of blue. And for a second, the whole world looked exactly like the night I lost you. Sometimes I think memory is less about the past and more about longing, about the impossible desire to stand inside one moment forever. You're turning toward me in soft yellow light, music spilling from the radio, neither of us knowing how close we already were to goodbye. The song we never danced to keeps playing somewhere deep inside my chest. Soft, distant, still unfinished after all these years. And maybe love survives this way, not as fireworks or promises, but as quiet tenderness hidden inside ordinary moments. I drove home slowly through the rain, the flowers beside me on the seat. And when the red light turned green, I almost looked for your hand again.